students, welcome to Tutoratti. I am Nayanika and you are studying English with me. Alright, today we are going to do a very interesting poem named Amanda. Now why is it a very interesting poem, children? Because this is a poem you would relate to a lot. Alright, whatever this little girl Amanda goes through, I am sure most of you go through the same things in your life. Alright, so this poem is about this little girl Amanda who gets scolded by her parents. Alright, हम सबको बहुत डांट पड़ती है मम्मी से पापा से. Alright, so this is the same situation happens with her. Alright, and when those things happen with her, she imagines things. Alright, when our parents tell us that you do this, you do that, don't do this, don't do that. Alright, हम सबको गुस्सा आता है, इरिटेशन होता है, फ्रस्ट्रेशन होता है. We think that हमारे पेरेंट्स हमको अपने हिसाब से रहने क्यों नहीं देते. Alright, so this little girl also thinks the same things. Her mother, she shouts at her, she nags her. So she also thinks the same, that मम्मी मुझे अपने तरीके से जीने क्यों नहीं देती. Why is she constantly after me? These types of thoughts comes to her mind. And after each and every nagging her mother throws at her, she imagines, what if I were some princess in some tall tower living alone. There would be no mother, no father to shout at me, to nag me. She thinks about those various possibilities. Alright, so now we'll see at which instances Amanda gets nagged, and let's see if you can relate it with your own life. Alright, before that, this poem Amanda is written by Robin Klein. The first nagging: don't bite your nails, Amanda. A lot of us have this habit of biting our nails when we are tensed or when we are nervous. So Amanda is doing the same. She is probably tensed, or she is tired, or it just may be a simple habit of biting nails. Now, I am not justifying the fact here that Amanda, biting her nails is right and her mother shouldn't say anything to her. It is not that, alright. Her mother is shouting at her. See this exclamation mark after Amanda. This implies that her mother is very irritated and she is very angrily saying, don't bite your nails, Amanda. Now students, you yourself think that your parents tell you don't bite your nails. They sound preachy. Don't do this, don't do that. आप तब उनकी बात सुनते हो, या फिर when they sit with you and make you understand why you shouldn't bite your nails, then you tend to understand better. Obviously children, in the next circumstance you understand better, but here the mother is not telling Amanda कि आप nails bite करोगे तो ऐसा होगा, इसीलिए आप nails bite मत करो. She is directly very angrily scolding Amanda and saying, don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Now what is the meaning of hunching your shoulders? It just means slouching in this position. Slouching, sometimes we are very relaxed or very lazily sitting on the couch with our legs up on the table. So that is what the mother doesn't want Amanda to do. She expects Amanda to maintain a correct body posture all the time. Alright, and this concern stems from the societal pressures of how a person should be sitting. Alright, so the society has defined some norms of good posture, of how you should sit, how you should cross your legs, how you should keep your hands. Alright, those things which the society has made, the mother's concern stems from that, and she says that you don't hunch your shoulders even when Amanda is at home. On the other hand, अगर उसकी मम्मी ने ऐसा बताया होता that you should not hunch your shoulders when you are sitting in public, or if you are talking to someone, or when you are sitting at school, at home it is fine if sometimes Amanda wants to sit in a relaxed position. But the mother, in order to inculcate a good habit in Amanda, she is making Amanda sit straight at a good posture all the time. That is why Amanda is irritated. Alright, we all know that we cannot be in a good posture, in a proper posture all the time. Alright, all of us like to relax and be like a couch potato sometimes. So that is why Amanda is very irritated, because her mother is expecting her to meet societal norms all the time, even when she is at home. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. Again she is saying sit up straight, okay, as if she were in a meeting with someone. Now this is what Amanda is imagining. There is a languid emerald sea. What do we mean by languid, children? Languid means very, very relaxed. There is a languid emerald sea. Now just look at this mermaid. She is just swimming, or she is just floating about in the sea wherever she wants to go, and however, in whatever body posture she wants. This is what Amanda is imagining, and she is saying that I wish that there were a big languid emerald. Emerald means greenish bluish type of sea, where the sole inhabitant is me. Inhabitant means where there was no mother, no father, no society, no brother, no sister, nobody. Where the sole inhabitant, where the only person living would be me. Now she says that how good it would be to just live alone, not to meet any societal pressures or norms of how you sit, how you talk, how you cross your legs, where she could float about anywhere in any position she wanted to. That is what she is imagining. Like a mermaid drifting blissfully. Okay, she wants to be a mermaid like this. Drifting means moving slowly, and blissfully means she is in a very relaxed state of mind, floating away happily. Alright. Did you finish your homework, Amanda? Now you would say that हम सबकी मम्मी पूछती है आपने होमवर्क खत्म किया, you did this, you did that, what is so wrong about it? Okay, mothers or parents asking did you finish your homework is fine, but just imagine the moment you come from school and you change into your home clothes, after that 20 to 30 minutes after that, if your mother is asking you did you finish your homework, won't you get irritated? Okay, nobody can expect students to come from school and directly start with their homework, right? They also need time to relax, time to play, time to watch television or whatever, okay, to inculcate in their hobbies. So that the mother is not understanding. She is always asking Amanda, did you finish your homework? And then Amanda is very irritated. Did you tidy your room, Amanda? Now again, this is something that all our mothers keep on saying. Alright, did you tidy your room? Most of the times our room is in a mess. Our mothers keep telling us clean your room, but we don't do that. And finally what happens, our mothers, one fine day she comes to our room and she cleans up everything. And even after cleaning up they tell us, see, I cleaned it for you this time, next time I'm not going to clean it for you. Alright, but now what is happening with Amanda? It is all the time, that she is being nagged that did you tidy your room? Of course, we can't expect little kids to always stay in a tidy room. Even as adults, what happens is, if someone expects you to always keep your room clean, it is just not possible. Sometimes we like to relax, we mess up our rooms and we just leave it that way. So Amanda is getting nagged for that as well. I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. So now Amanda has come home with dirty feet. She has played outside in the mud and then she is home with dirty feet and her mother is scolding her for that as well. I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. Now how could you expect a little girl like Amanda, when she is playing outside, to play in only the clean parts of the playground and not to dirty her shoes, and as soon as she comes home, she should clean her shoes. You can't just expect that from a little kid like her. So again Amanda is irritated and she thinks, I am an orphan roaming the street. Just imagine to what length or to what heights her mother would be scolding her, that she even goes on to imagine that kash main orphan hoti. That is not something we imagine in our daily lives, right students? We don't feel that kash main orphan hoti. That is a very big thing to say. तो आप सोचो अमांडा कितनी irritated है that she is okay with being an orphan also, right? We would never like to lose our parents, but then she wants to be an orphan. तो सोचो वो कितनी ज़्यादा harassed है. Alright, I am an orphan roaming the street. She thinks that अगर मैं orphan होती, I could go anywhere I pleased, roaming the streets. I pat on soft dust with my hushed bare feet. Bare feet means without shoes. I pat on soft dust. Pat on soft dust means a lot of times we all have done this. When there is dust or mud somewhere, we draw patterns in it, in the dust or in the mud. Amanda wants to do the same like us. I pat on soft dust with my hushed bare feet. So अगर वो ऐसा करके घर जाती है, just imagine, because her shoes were dirty, her mother scolded her so much. Just imagine now if her feet were also dirty, how much her mother would scold her. Alright, so she imagines that if I were an orphan, I could do anything I pleased. The silence is golden, the freedom sweet. Okay, so now she says the silence. Which silence? The absence of her mother's nagging, that is golden, and the freedom is sweet. Which freedom? The freedom to do anything she pleases. Don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda. Now again the mother is saying that do not eat chocolate because those chocolates will, worsen your acne or your pimples, Amanda. Now, if you tell a child that, how do you expect a child to understand that eating chocolates will, worsen the pimples? Obviously, the child would feel that, okay, let my pimples worsen, but I want that chocolate. That is what the mother doesn't understand, and she doesn't let Amanda eat a bit of chocolate. Okay, what the mother should have done here was to restrict Amanda eat chocolate all the time. Alright. Will you please look at me when I'm speaking to you, Amanda? Now again, we all have done this. When our mothers or fathers, tell us don't eat this, it is junk food. Don't look at them. Why we don't look at them? Because we know that they are right. It is a chocolate, it is junk food, it is not good for our health, but we want it. Okay, our heart craves for that, chocolates and junk food and all these things. And then we don't look at them, we make faces, we say okay, but our heart has not agreed to that. So Amanda is doing the same. See, she is holding that chocolate in her hand and then she is looking down because she wants to eat that chocolate, but she knows that she can't be disobedient. Now she thinks, I am Rapunzel, I have not a care. I certainly never let down my bright hair. Now, how does she connect to Rapunzel? Think, students. We all know that Rapunzel had very long hair and she was, locked up in a tower. So, Amanda wants to be the same. Okay, she wants to have that long hair and then, be up in some tower where there would be no one to tell her don't eat chocolates, don't eat this, don't eat that. She wants that. Stop that sulking at once, Amanda. Now, what is sulking? When our parents scold us, हमको वो अच्छा नहीं लगता है. But again, we can't shout back at them, right? So what we do? We make faces. We roll our eyes like this. We make faces. We sit in the corner with our phones. We don't look at them. Alright, so this is called sulking behavior. So then, when her mother is nagging at Amanda, Amanda is doing the same. She is making faces, she is rolling her eyes, and then her mother is irritated with that as well and she says, stop sulking at once. You are always so moody, Amanda. So now the mother is saying you are always moody. But students, do you think that actually Amanda is always moody, or it is her mother and her nags and her shouts which is making her moody? Obviously, students, it is because of her mother's scolding, Amanda is sulking. Amanda is not a moody girl. How do we understand that? Because when her mother is throwing, those nags and shouts at her, at that time, Amanda is imagining, what if I were Rapunzel? What if I were a mermaid? Which shows that Amanda wants freedom. She doesn't want to be under the authority, the strict rules of her mother. Okay, so now comes the sarcasm. So now her mother is saying, anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. So now this is a very, hypocritical situation where the mother, from the beginning of the poem, she is the one who is actually nagging at Amanda, and then she is saying that, don't sulk, everyone, the society would think that I nagged at you. Okay, whereas she actually nagged at her. But now see, the mother, she is nagging at Amanda, but she doesn't want the society, the other people to think that she nags at her child. Okay. Now, the major question is, what made Amanda sulk and become moody? Why was she moody? Children are never like that. Okay, why was she moody? Because her mother, always wanted her to be very, very composed, do what the society wanted. Whatever norms the society has created for how a person should be, her mother wanted Amanda to be the same. And in order to get Amanda into that habit, she incorporated all of that with Amanda at home as well. Alright, so Amanda sulked and became moody when her mother gave her too many instructions. She did not want to follow them, but she couldn't dare to ignore them either. She did not want to follow them, like, don't come home with muddy feet, tidy your room, don't slouch your shoulders. Once in a while not tidying your room, once in a while eating chocolates, or once in a while, coming home with dirty feet. All this is fine for a child, but her mother did not want her to do that even once. And Amanda could not be disobedient, and she had to follow her mother's instructions even when she did not want to. So she made faces, and that is why her mother called her moody. Next question. Is Amanda's attitude a typical teenager behavior? Typical teenager behavior is, does the same thing happen with us at home? Some might say yes, some might say no. So what is the lesson for parents from this poem? Sometimes what happens is, our parents, they have a very good intention for us. They want us to, have proper behavior, so that when we attend, parties, or we attend functions, or we are a guest at somebody's house, or when we are at school, we are always at our best behavior. But what Amanda's mother did not understand was that at home, she should have allowed Amanda to, sometimes be lazy, sometimes eat chocolates. So what? It doesn't matter if she got a pimple or two more. Okay, Amanda could have had her heart's desire. So let's take an example, students. So suppose you are consuming a lot of junk food. Okay, you want it every day, and then one fine day your mother tells you that from today you are not supposed to consume junk food at all. I have made a diet plan for you, and whatever I cook and whatever I tell you, you have to eat that. That's it. So in any case, you have to obey her. But will you like this kind of authority from your mother? No, obviously you won't like it. On the other hand, अगर आपकी मम्मी ने आपको समझाया होता that if you eat junk food, your body will get affected, your brain will not function properly. Not function properly in the sense that your memory won't be very sharp. You will be obese, alright, which will attract a lot of diseases. Okay, when you age further. So this kind of understanding, if your mother gives you this kind of explanation, you are more likely to agree with her, right? So in Amanda's case also, that is the same thing which happened. Her mother always nagged and shouted at her and said that you will not do this, you will not do that. But she never sat with her and explained to her why she didn't want Amanda to do those things for which she nagged her. Alright, so that made Amanda worse. She did not understand her mother, she started disliking her mother, and then eventually, she also said that I want to be an orphan. That is a very big thing to say. So we need to understand that forcing such decisions on them, forcing means, making students comply with your decisions will only isolate them further. Isolate them further means, if my mother is going on scolding me for the same reason again and again, she does not allow me to play with muddy feet, she does not allow me to have chocolates, she always expects me to sit in a good posture even at home, I will start isolating. Isolating means I will stop talking to her. I will not share my problems with her. I will not tell her anything. Even if I face problems outside the house, I will not come and share it with her, because I know that my mother would be nagging at me for everything I do. So that is what Amanda faced. So it isolated her further, as we see it in Amanda's case, where she wishes to be a mermaid. an orphan or the lonely Rapunzel. Now students, we all know that we never want to be lonely, but Amanda को lonely होना था. Why? Because she couldn't tolerate her mother's nagging. She doesn't want to listen to anyone. She had come to a point where her mother had nagged her so much, and when she made faces, her mother even said that you don't make faces. Why? Because everybody else will think that I nagged at you. So her mother wants to nag her. At the same time, she doesn't want others to think that she nagged her. So now Amanda is, very, very tired of all this, and she does not want to listen to anyone. So that is the lesson for parents from this poem, that, we need to make our children understand why we tell them the things we do. Just telling them don't do this, don't do that, or what is called preaching, that will not help. It will just make matters worse. So students, that is the end of the poem here. I hope you understood this. It would be great if you could like, share and subscribe the video. Thank you.